Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. For all of you that are still here right now, I'm going to let you know there will not be a live stream next week. Uh, my mother has passed away, and I'm going to be back in Indiana. The funeral is next Saturday. So, like I said, there will not be a live stream. There will be one probably the week after, but not next week. So I want to thank you all for coming. And I'm going to try something to see if this works. Last week it wasn't working, so let's see if it does. I don't know. Doesn't look like it's working. So I'll take it down. There's a message for anybody that wants to come up. And so we're going to take the banner down. I thought it would be working, but it's not. So let's just get rid of it. Those of you that know how to put your links up, go ahead and do so if you like. But like I said, I wanted to let you all know that there will not be one next week. Hello, Eileen, Julie, Anime. Like I said, my mother passed away, Rona. As many of you know, she was 99 years old. She had been sick for a while. She had what they call dementia, if you know what that is. Wasn't super bad, but it was bad enough that at times she wouldn't know who her own kids were. One time she introduced my two sisters that she lived with for many years as her friends and not her daughters. She couldn't remember who they were or their names. My mom always remembered me when I was home. But last time I was home, the last day, because every day before that, she remembered me. My last day there, I went in to see her. She kept asking me who I was. So that's a sad thing for her to be the last memory for me of my mom. Hey, Jerry. Thank you, man. Like I said, I'll put some videos up this week, but there won't be a live stream on Saturday. That's the day of the funeral. I could do one that day because the funeral's early enough that I could do it that night, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to let you know that right now. I will be back home in time to do one the following Saturday, so I will do one then. Thought I'd see if anybody wanted to come up. I don't know how long I'm going to do this one. We'll do it for a while. But I do have a question. I know Jerry's answer. I'm thinking about doing a live stream an hour earlier. I know Jerry would be for that. That would make it 7 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines. I'd like your input on that. If you like that idea, we can do that. Thank you, Anime. Jerry, I'm not going home until Thursday. I don't need to be sitting around doing nothing. That would just depress me even more, being back home and not being able to go see my mother. So I would just rather stay here. I'll go home. I'll leave for home on Thursday. I'll get there on Friday. We'll have the visitation. I'll be home for visitation, which is where family and friends and people that want to come that can't make the funeral, they'll come in and visit. And then on Saturday, the funeral will be at 1. The family, my immediate family, will go in at noon. And like I said, it's going to be emotional enough without me going home and just sitting around and, I just don't want to do it. I'm sorry. That may call me selfish, but I get choked up enough thinking about it without being at home. Uh, and so I was thinking about taking the whole week off, not next week, but the week after. I'm thinking about not doing that. Hey, Ian, thank you for coming. But yeah, so like I said, it's going to be a hard time. Like I said, my mom's, she's been sick for quite a while. But still, even though she's 99, it's still hard. Any of you who's lost a parent uh, understand what I'm saying. Any of you that lost a child, you have my condolences because I'm sure that's 100 times worse. My mom had buried 2 sons, and she had a miscarriage or two as well. So I know she had a very rough life. She had a miscarriage or two between myself and my younger brother. She buried my older brother and my younger brother, but all 4 of my sisters are still alive. And so they call me if there's a thing that they want to decide on how to do it. We go with majority, so there's 5 siblings still left. So three rules, but everybody gets to put their input in. So I was outruled on a couple of them, but that's fine. And I understand the obituary. That's the notice that someone's passed away. In case you don't know the term, was going to be in the paper. A lot of times it's done online because it's done for free. You do it in the paper. Many people, hey Melinda, many people in the Philippines could live off that money for a month. That's how much it costs to put in the paper. I voted against doing the paper. 3 of my sisters voted for it. The oldest 3 voted for it. The youngest one and myself, we voted against it. But my sisters, the ones that voted for it, hey Anna, how you doing? Their reasoning for it is sound. I'll give them that. The reason for it is most women or most people anywhere near my mom's age won't see it on the internet. They just don't do it. So a lot of people like their papers. My one brother-in-law, my younger brother-in-law, says he misses the paper, but the paper was too liberal for him, so he quit taking it. And there are a lot of people that way. And I hope you enjoy your breakfast. I just finished my lunch a little bit ago, my dinner just a little bit ago. How you doing, Jerry?
Hey, are you able to see my
Yeah, I can
can
see
you
your
see?
thing. Yeah.
Okay, I turned off the been a long time since I've been on. But again, condolences to you, Larry, and your family.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Like I said, she just turned 99 in January, and she always said she didn't want to live to be 100. So she got her wish. Like I said, even though I knew it was coming, same thing with my dad when he died. He'd been sick for years, and he died at 61. It's still rough, even when you know it's coming.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I don't want to go home. And if I'm at home, it would be one thing if I lived there, but I have no distractions when I go home. Because my sisters are going to be depressed. Uh, my cousin George, who happens to be one of my very best friends, well, he's in Florida right now, and he's not going to be able to make it. So I would be hanging around with my sisters, and that's going to make me even more depressed than what I am. So I'm going to wait. I'll go home. I'll deal with it. It'll take me a while to get over, but like I said, distance for me makes it easier to take. Because I'm not seeing everyday reminders of my mom being gone. I'm not having to urge to go to the nursing home to see her. So, it may be selfish on my part not to want to go through that. Hey, Tim. So, if it's selfish, so be it. I mean, I got to do what I think is best for me. Like I work today. It's normally my day off. And they asked me if I'd work earlier in the week, and I did. I knew this might happen, and I could have probably passed it off to somebody else. But like I said, what am I going to do? I mean, I can't tell you the one good thing that comes out of this, and it's a selfish good thing, people. It just means now I can set up a time frame for me to decide to move to the Philippines. Could not move forward with my mom. Like I told you all, I wasn't going anywhere till after she passed. Well, now I got to decide when I want to go, how quick. I can guarantee it won't be before next year. I already told you all that before. I'm just not going to be financially where I want to be. I could, as far as finances right now, I could go over there and set myself up. I'd be watching my pennies, but I can set myself up comfortably. Okay, let's just say that. But if something happens, then I'm in trouble because I wouldn't have the savings that I want. So I got to build up the savings, and I've already signed a lease last month that extends me through the end of February 2026. That doesn't mean I'm going to stay here to February 2026. It does mean I'll be here through January of 2026. That'll be the earliest I would leave. But I may decide I want to stay longer just because maybe I don't have the money I want or something else is going on. But right now I'm looking at trying to decide if January is the right time for me to leave. And if it is, I will retire in December. I'm not going to work into the following year if I'm going to leave. I don't want to worry about my taxes being complicated. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Crystal. And so, like I said, it's very sad. Dave, it's been a very sad week. She died on Thursday, and I found out Wednesday how bad she was. I had a day to deal with that. That there was a good chance she was going to be gone. And so, like I said, this way it allows me to deal with it on my own. Because, like I said, if I went back to Indiana right now, everybody I'd be around would remind me of my mom because they'd all be family. And because my best friend, besides my cousin, he passed away last year. And so I wouldn't even be able to go see him. Now, he would remind me of my mother too, but it'd be not as painful as my sisters. I mean, he would feel the pain, but not like my sisters. So it'd be a little less painful being around him. My cousin would be very painful to be around as well. His mom was my mom's younger sister. We're first cousins. He took the loss of my father almost as hard as I did, and because he truly did love my dad. My dad did so much for him and his sisters. I'm not going to talk out of school, but he told me once that the very first baseball glove he got was given to him by my dad, not his dad. My dad did it. And he always tried to make sure they were, whenever he stopped in. My dad drove trucks across country for years. And if he was driving and it was anywhere near the area that they lived, he'd stop in and see the family, see how they're doing. And that was my father. He believed family first. So that's one of the reasons why we have such a strong family tie, my father and my mother. Not all families have that. It's sad, but not all of them do. I will miss my sisters when I move to the Philippines, but I don't see them that often as it is because we're so far apart. And our lifestyles are very different. My oldest sister, I miss a lot. She was like a second mother to me when I was really young. Like I said, my mom had a miscarriage between me and my younger brother. She had at least one, if not two. Well, my oldest sister's 10 years older than I am. So when my dad worked, now he came off the road and worked locally, but he was still working a lot. My oldest sister's the one that took care of me. She's the one that made sure that I was fed. She's the one that made sure if I needed my diaper changed, it was changed. Because like I said, my mom was very depressed. You know, I don't know how you guys, what you would think, but I would think losing a child during pregnancy would be very depressing. I know it would depress me. And so,
Yep.
like I said, my oldest sister was like a second mother to me for many, many years. She still acts like a second mother to me many times. But she's actually for me. She's actually for the idea of me moving to the Philippines. Her and my younger sister are the two that support me in that. My other two sisters don't want me to go because how much would they see me? But we don't see each other but maybe once a year anyway. So, and I'm just tired of winter. I'll have to work part of another winter minimum. So like I said, that's something I have to figure out how quick I can get everything done. Some of it I already know what I got to do. I just haven't done it because I didn't know when I was going to go. And some of it you don't want to set up too far in advance. But most of the stuff that I think I really have to do, I'm just going to have to give it time. Like I got to put more money back. That's time. You need a mail forwarding thing, but you don't want to do that too far in advance. So I'll have to start doing that sometime this fall. And I have to decide which bank, if I want to switch it out of the one I have right now, or do I want to have two different banks? Because I know one bank I'm going to get rid of. I got two banks. The one bank I know I'm already going to get rid of. So do I replace it with another bank or just stay with one? These are things I have to look into. The one bank I'm keeping is where my Social Security is deposited. And I will keep that. I may switch up how much is deposited in that. Maybe I'll deposit quite a bit into another one. Also, once I decide to close out the one bank, all that money will go either into the bank my Social Security goes in or into the other bank. I'm leaning towards having two banks. I want a bank that will let me withdraw my money while overseas and not give me a hard time about it. So I'm thinking about USAA Bank, maybe the Navy Federal Credit if they do it. But I'm entitled to join either one by being a veteran. And I know from everybody I've watched that the USAA Bank will refund some of your ATM fees. Not all of it. Depends on how much you take out, how many times you take. They're like about 4 times they'll refund it, and they don't give people a hard time about being overseas. So right now I'm looking at USAA. Like I said, I may check into the Navy Federal Credit Union, see if they do the same thing. So Jerry, how's everything going, man? Let's get off the depressing subjects and start talking about something else.
It's good. It's yesterday we were over 100 degrees, 90
Oof.
today, 80 tomorrow, and during the week.
We got up to 60, man. It was not, of course I was inside most of it, but it was,
We'll be 58, I think, tonight.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the high.
Yeah, so 6 is a little too chilly.
Yeah, I'm going to say though, it was nice this morning. Thank you, Bob William. This morning because the low was only 44. At least when I got up, I had to get up. I had to leave the house around 8:00 this morning. On Saturdays if I work, which I don't normally work because we got a guy who usually covers it, but another site's very short-handed and he's trained there. So you go in there on Saturday, and I'll go in. And I went in today at 8:30. I picked up 6 extra hours this week by doing that. Of course, I'm going to lose some because I'm taking time off, but I do get paid convalescent leave. So one thing about where I work, I'll say this for people that may not understand what I mean by convalescent leave. It's paid time off for a loss of a close family member. Usually it's like a parent, a sibling, a spouse. Sometimes it includes grandparents.
Here's bereavement is what we call it.
Yeah.
They call it bereavement.
Yeah. They got different terms. It's exactly the same thing.
Long time ago. Go ahead.
I'm going to say bereavement is a term that I've heard. I always call it, can't even think of the term now.
I didn't even know about that till I started working at my current employer because none of the previous ones had that.
Well, like I said, I've been with this company for a very long time, so I've known about it since I've been with them. I didn't know about it before that. I had some friends that I was working with who lost a parent, and they got it. So why did that thing even go off? I have one of my phones shut down for some reason. I didn't bring it back up. But yeah, it's like, I even have now this one. I'm trying to remember if this is the first one or the second one. I had a guy I worked with, and his son was killed, and and it put him. He also was in the hospital for months. What happened was somebody an arson set fire to their house, and he was trying to find his son and got overcome, and his son hid in the closet and was overcome with smoke, and it killed him. And they didn't tell him for weeks after it happened because he was in such bad condition. They were afraid if they told him it would kill him.
Wow.
And so they got a group that's called Parents or something like that of Murdered Children. And it's a bereavement group that they go in and console each other and talk about what happened, about their feelings and all that good happy stuff. And you know what I mean? It's not happy stuff, with all that stuff you need to talk about, and you need someone that understands what you're going through. It's a group that knows what he knew what he was going through because they've been through it. And then there's also been people I know that have lost their parents. I lost my father before I started working for this company, so I didn't get it. But I did get it when I lost my brother. I got it both times when I lost both my brothers. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I was already working at the company when my older brother died. I hadn't been there very long, maybe 2 years. That's probably the first time I heard about it, was when I lost my brother. Because I think that was before Paul lost his son and went in the hospital himself. So, yeah, first time I found out about it was when I lost my brother, and they told me I got 3 paid days off. As far as I know, that's all they give now. They may give more, but I haven't been told. I'm not asking for more.
That's what they used to give at my employer, 3 days paid. Yeah. But I think they went up pre-COVID. I don't know, 2015 or so.
Yeah,
I think it was like 5 business days or 5 days, 5 working days.
Yeah. Well, I lost my younger brother in 2015, and which, as you can tell, is 10 years ago. So I was 61. He was 56. He's 5 years younger than I am. And so, it's, and there again, I was living out here when my younger brother died. I'm not in Waterville area. I was living in Leroy, which is close to Rochester, New York. And I went home for that. I saw some people, and man, it's been a year since some of them, and they look so different.
Yeah.
And some of these people I may see again. Some of these people I may not, because the ones I'm talking about were close friends to my brother. I knew them through my brother. And with my brother being gone, they may not feel like they should go because they really weren't close with the family.
Yeah.
So some of them may come by because they got to know my mom pretty well. So we'll see. But I will have a lot of cousins and stuff I haven't seen in a long time. Like I said, on my mom's side of the family, they don't, even the ones that live local, don't get together very often. It's just, hey Viking, how you doing? About the only time they really get together is like in cases like this when somebody dies, or you go visit them. They're pretty much homebodies. They don't want to go anywhere, so you go visit them. They'll entertain you all night long, but they don't want to go anywhere. They'll sit there and play cards, watch TV, do all kinds of stuff. They rarely, once in a blue moon, that you may get them to a family reunion. But that's we had a family reunion on my mom's side last year. That's the first family, and not everybody showed up. And I'm talking about even the local people. Not all of them showed up. But that was on my mom's side. So they were a little better than my mom's dad's side. And so we'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's next couple of weeks I'm going to be kind of down and out a little bit. I will adjust. Like I said, I knew my mom had been very sick for a long time. Yeah, Sam, it is. But that seems, like I said, my mom's immediate family's not that way. Her brothers and sisters, now they're all gone now. We always got together. My mom's immediate family and their kids, they get together a lot. But the cousins, the second cousins or the first cousins once removed, are cousins of my mom. Their families, a lot of them, that's the price side. A lot of them, they show up once in a while, they'll have a reunion. But now the Ferran side, or Ferran, depends on how you want to pronounce the name. I had two uncles and they couldn't agree on how to pronounce it. I worked with one and didn't know it until he happened to mention his last name. I worked with the guy.
Well,
and yeah, I run around with his son. Didn't know he was related to me. I just knew his first name. I didn't know his last name. And he was a few years younger than me, but we went to pick up his younger brother at the airport he was coming home on leave from the Navy. So his brother wasn't on the plane that he thought he was going to be on. So he went up to the counter to ask, about his brother. And he happened to mention his brother's name was Michael Ferran, or Ferran. I can't remember how he pronounced it. And I looked at him, I said, who's your dad? He goes, Jack. I said, I know Jack. I said, who's your grandpa? He goes, Orville. I said, mine's Merrill. He goes, Uncle Merrill? I mean, we knew the grandparents or the parent. Like I said, I worked with his dad. That's the only reason I knew his dad. But we knew the grandparents. But I didn't know my cousins because they almost never got together. And the only reason I found out they were cousins because I heard the last name.
Yeah.
I wasn't from reunions. And so we ended up picking his brother up later. His brother was got delayed by a couple hours. So, that's how in my hometown, anybody with the last name Ferran or Ferran, either way you want to pronounce it, every one of them's a cousin. I don't know them all, but every one of them's a cousin. They don't get together that much. There's other cousins that I know their last name of, but some of them I met and some of them I wouldn't know. They walked up and bit me.
Yeah.
But Yeah, Tim. Now, my dad's side of the family, we had one every year. Uh, until I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were doing it every year up until the 2000s. I know they're still doing it in 2000 something, 2010, somewhere around there. But that's when the older people started passing away. When I was a kid, we did it down in Spring Mill State Park, which is southern Indiana. We went down there, and then when some of the older people started passing away, not all the older people, because my grandmother was still alive, and the older ones lived up around Indianapolis area, so we started having it up in Lafayette, which is where my grandmother was at, until she passed, and then they started having it in Avon, Indiana, which is right outside of Indianapolis, because that's where all the older people lived, was the Indianapolis area. Now all of them have passed, so I no longer live back there. That was always in August. But the last time I went home in August, they had it, and that's been a few years ago. I don't go. I know you guys talk about the heat and humidity in a lot of areas. Well, Indiana in August is hot and humid. It gets up in the 90s, very humid. We'll get into the hundreds with high humidity. When I say high, I'm talking about like 70%, 60, 70% humidity, very little wind. That's what I grew up with in the summer times. But that was usually in August. Sometimes you get it in July, but usually you got a couple of weeks of that in August. I remember one August when I was still living back home, the low never got below, I think, 90 degrees or mid 80s, somewhere in there. My air conditioner stayed on 24/7 for the whole month. And it was up in the 90s and the hundreds every day. I mean, the highs were up in the high 90s or low hundreds every day that month. And so, you adapt. You stay inside as much as you can if it gets too hot and humid. I started wearing shorts that summer. I usually didn't wear shorts, but I'd spend more time in the shade. So, yeah, I was thinking about changing my time I take off. I was thinking about, like I said, I was thinking about taking it like next Thursday, Friday, and the whole week after. But I'm thinking about changing that and maybe wait and go back again in June or July when my cousin's home. And I've got a little more time. Everybody had a little more time to deal with it. The one thing that will help is for my two sisters is my mom hadn't been living with them for a few years. They'll still have to adjust not going to see her a lot because they went 2, 3, maybe 4 times a week to see her, maybe more. I don't know. I haven't with my sisters and my nieces back home. Somebody went almost every day, and a lot of times they took turns who went because like I said, my mom had trouble staying awake a lot towards the end, so you didn't want to overwhelm her. So when I went home, I usually was the only one that went in. Like I said, we didn't want to overwhelm my mom. And like I said, even when I was there, a lot of times she could only take about a half hour or so, and then she was going to sleep. And so, like I said, she was going downhill.
Yeah.
But now, when are you heading back to the Philippines there, Jerry? Let's get on to happier subjects.
I'm planning on. I need to I need to book a flight. I'm planning this year. I'm hoping flights are about $1,500.
Yeah.
From
I said,
Houston.
Like I said, my plan right now, the way I'm looking at it right now, probably January, somewhere towards the end of January, because I'd like to have my and maybe the first part of February. Because I'd like to have my taxes filed and have that done and out of the way. Might as well, because I have to pay rent through February next year. That's why I signed a new lease, and my lease goes through the 1st of March next year. So
I only have like 3 hours in vacation in January. So
I got vacation time.
Yeah, I don't hours. We lose them at the end of the year. We don't use it, so I have very little hours at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I understand that. I
That-
I see you got a drone there. You've been flying it a
Yeah,
lot.
what happened to your drone?
I've been lazy, hadn't used it. I'm gonna have
Oh,
to try
okay.
to do that this summer. And,
Yeah, I'm gonna fly it because the sunset is probably here within the next 5 minutes.
yeah,
But I'm keeping it within distance. I'm not rebellious and go in further distance. I just keep it pretty close to me.
when I start flying mine, if I ever do, I know me. I hope to, but that don't mean I will. Uh, I'll keep it close to me as well. And
Because I need experience. That's why. Yeah, you don't want to.
you don't
Whether
want
it's
to do it.
$100 or $1,000 drone, you want to keep it near you.
Well, mine's not $1,000, but it's not 100 either.
Yeah, though
But
this
remember,
one,
I got mine for free though.
yeah, you got to do your work. This one, it's a $400 phone drone, but I got it for $219 on
Right.
Amazon.
Mine was listed for a little bit more than 219. It was less than 400 though.
Yeah, it's a $400
Mine
regular
was less
price.
than that. Mine wasn't that expensive, but it was over
Is
200. But I don't
is
remember.
it how many grams? Mine's
I
under 250.
I'd have to pull it out. I haven't looked at
Okay.
it in so long.
I don't have to register it.
That's what I was wondering about this one. I don't think I do with this one. I think it's
Yeah, if
small enough.
it's under 250, then because you don't have to register.
Yeah,
You
I
just
believe it is, but I'll have to look.
take your trust exam or test.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Yeah, I took it like that week.
But if you don't have to register, you don't have to take a test, do you?
So it's like a training.
Yeah, I'd like to find a place where I could go and actually get hands-on training.
Well, that's the one to get. If you're making money profit out of it, then you do have to take a test.
No,
Or if it's Wayne,
I don't plan on making money out of it.
no,
Like I said,
that's why in my videos I just don't monetize it on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I haven't monetized a single video, and right now I
Yeah,
don't plan on.
yeah, mine I just don't because of the FAA, so I just don't want to make money out of it, whether it be a penny or $1. I don't want to make any profit because I don't want to get in trouble with the FAA.
I understand. Well, it's like you got to be so far away from an airport, no matter what size your drone is. If I remember
Yeah,
right.
but you got the drone app. You have the one for the FAA, and there was one other app. So you have to register, basically sign in, let them know that you're going to be flying.
That's one of the things. Like I said, if I do this, I'd like to find a school or instructor or something that's professional enough that you can take lessons and learn all that stuff, how to fly it, how to make sure you know that'll cost you some money, but if you're going to use it, then you want to do it right. At
That'd
least
be nice.
I may get out and just try flying it outside, but I meant if I'm going to try to do a lot of stuff, I'd like to get a little more training.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah,
that's the training that I've been getting.
Yeah, but right now for me, I'm so far behind on videos of other people's.
Yeah,
that I try to watch, and plus working, it's kind of hard to do something just for fun, and that's one of the reasons why I don't want to monetize, because I don't want it to be a second job. Maybe after I retire, maybe I'll decide I want to monetize, but I doubt it. I hope not. And then that comes into with your taxes and stuff like that. But like I said, well, there's an old saying: if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yep.
My plan is not to monetize. He may decide I need to.
Let me get out of the coop. The tickets are going to start coming in.
Yeah. But yeah, I bet you're not happy with the time change, are you?
No, took me taking me a long time to adapt. But give me maybe another week, and I'll adapt to it.
Like I said, I don't care which time frame they go with. I wish they just pick one throughout the nation, and everybody say, "All right, we're all daylight or we're all standard."
Just
And
like
let's just do it.
Hawaii and Arizona, where they don't change their time.
Yeah, like I said, I wish everybody else would do that. Let's just quit
And-
changing our clocks, and let's get adjusted to whatever time we're going to go with. And you only have to adjust once. Once they don't do it, you adjust to it, and then you're adjusted to the rest of the time. You look at your animals; they don't care what time you think it is. They know when they want to eat. It doesn't change because you change your clocks.
Nope.
And I don't. That's what I'm saying. It just does to me. It just doesn't make sense. And Tim, I don't know what the rules are in the Philippines. You probably would be wise not to fly near an airport, even in the Philippines, if the rules don't do that. Yeah,
Rod
I know,
posted a
Tim. I'm
video.
jealous of that.
Rod posted a video about the drones. I don't remember how far back, and I was gonna watch it, and I totally haven't been able to see it. Rod from Amazing Philippines, I think.
Oh, Rod did one?
Yeah, Rod from Cebu.
Yeah, Rod the Amazing Philippines is Rod. I can't think of his last name. I used to follow him, but I haven't followed him in a long time.
Ned is the other one, but I don't follow Ned.
Ned's in Dumaguete.
Yeah, I don't follow him. But Rod I do, and
Ned
he
doesn't
posted
post
one.
much anymore at all. Since he's had his daughter and he's got two kids now.
Okay.
He doesn't post much.
Rod used to every now and then used to pop in one of the Chris Cebu live streams.
Yeah. Like I said, I used to watch Rod. I probably will start getting back into Rod on his. He did a lot of apartment.
A lot of places for rent, but he also does a lot of. Well, he'll do walking videos. He also do the habo, riding, going to different places.
Like I said, I followed. It was the apartment and condo videos that got me started watching, but I watched the others as well. And sometimes he would travel to other cities and he check out things there and stuff like that. No, Ned posted something last year, I want to say, Tim. They went to that rabbit place. I think that was last year. It's been a while. He only puts up maybe a couple posts every year or two anymore. Like I said, since his daughter, shortly after his daughter, because when his daughter was first born, he put up a few more. Then he cut way back, and he doesn't do much video anymore. So yeah, I used to watch Ned all the time. Now the first vlogger in the Philippines I started following. A lot of you won't like this guy, or some of you I used to like him. I don't follow him anymore. Was Rique from Life Beyond the Sea.
Yeah, I saw some of his videos, but I never followed him.
Hey, Robert, how you doing, sir?
And the very famous from Alabama.
I never
What's
followed
the guy
him.
from Alabama?
I never followed him. I felt, like I said, there was 30 seconds in Thailand Rob, and then Rique in the Philippines. And I kept going, adding from the Philippines and Thailand because both places interested me. I liked the Philippines a little bit better, but I was willing to check out some things in Thailand. And the reason why I like the Philippines better, well, like I've told many of you, I served with a lot of Filipinos when I was in the Navy. And you can travel a little bit better in the Philippines without somebody else with you. The signs, almost all the signs, I think all the signs are in English. The the younger people, almost anywhere you go, and some of the older people as well. But I mean, you can go to some out of the way places, and the younger people will speak some English. So you don't have to necessarily learn a new language. It's probably helpful if you do, but you don't have to. Now Thailand, if you stick to the tourist areas, you can get by without learning a new language, no problem. But it just comes down to I think I'd feel more comfortable in the Philippines. It's just that simple. So I quit. I cut out. I haven't watched a vlogger from Thailand in a couple years. I got rid of all. I quit following all of them except for Bobby. There's but I followed Bobby when he was in the States, and then him and his wife. His wife is Thai. They've since moved to the Thailand. I don't follow him as closely as I used to, but I still check out a video of his every once in a while. And so, like I said, most of the Thailand vloggers I quit following because I made my decision that, and this has been a few years back, that I want to go to the Philippines. I like the ease of the visa. I like the fact that I can travel around with nobody else with me and be able to get by with just English. And like I said, and I did work with, when I served with a lot of Filipinos in the Navy. We were shipmates. We were also worked together side by side. I did about a third of my division was Filipino, and a third other ethnicities, and then about a third white. When I say other, I'm talking about Mexican, Native American, Asian. We had a couple of guys that were twins. One was in the storekeepers, and one was a ship serviceman, and they were Chinese American. Hey, Jerry. Oh, you're going back to Florida in May? Well, Robert, you weren't here. I was telling everybody that my mom just passed away Thursday, and so the funeral's next Saturday in Terre Haute, which is where I'm from, Terre Haute, Indiana. So I won't be doing a live stream next weekend. And I've told many people, you might have been someone I told, that I would not move to the Philippines until after my mom passes. I didn't want to be that far away in case I was needed. But I found out she was sick on Wednesday and she passed on Thursday, so there was no way I could make it back at home because I'm 800 and some miles away. I thought about taking off. They weren't sure how everything was going. That's all right, Jerry. If you want, come on back up. You're more than welcome to come back up. I was wondering what happened. So right now I'm thinking about moving to the Philippines either in January or February next year. My lease is signed. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? My lease has just been signed through the 1st of March next year. So I will work the rest of this year at least. Right now I'm going to work towards moving over there in February, into January, 1st of February, somewhere there. And if that is a attainable goal when I get close, I will retire from work altogether at the end of December. I don't want to work into the next year. And one of the reasons I don't want to leave till the end of January, 1st of February if I'm going, well, one of the reasons is I'm going to have to pay the rent anyway. And the other reason is I'd like to go ahead and have my taxes filed before I go. Just have it filed here, have it done and over with. Now, the furniture I have, what I'll do, I'll contact these second-hand furniture places, see what they'll give me for the furniture, because I'm not going to take it with me. So I'll sell all my furniture that way. Probably won't get a whole lot of money out of it. But whatever I get is what I get. And then I'll sell my car just before I go. Either sell it back to the dealership. There's these other places that will buy your car. And so I'll end up selling my car one way or the other. And that money should cover my between the two things should cover my plane ticket to the Philippines. So like I said, I have the money right now that if I went over, I could set myself up. So the money I can put back between now and then will be my emergency fund. And as long as I attain the goal that I want, I'll be good to go. Now, if I don't, I may just say, well, I still want to go next year, and I'll sign a short-term lease. They have where you can sign, I think, for like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 months. The rent will be a little higher than if you sign for a whole year, but if that's what I need to do, that's what I'll do. Which means I'll keep working if I have to do that. So either the end of this year or sometime next year, I will retire, and shortly after I retire, I will move to the Philippines. So we'll be giving that a shot. See, like I said, I have every intention of going over there and staying. Like I said earlier, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So we'll see if God agrees with me. That's all right, Jerry. Like I said, if you want to come up before that, you're more than welcome. But so sometime next year, I can't guarantee when yet, but sometime next year, I should be moving to the Philippines. Well, Tim, I'll tell you what, I still prefer that over what the temperatures I have. No, if there are, Tim, that it's going to be in the bigger cities like New York, Chicago, LA, where there's a much larger Filipino contingency population. I'm not sure. It's either LA or New York has the largest population. I think it's New York. I know there's been some people that have said things, but I don't know if they've protested because I don't know what these states can do about it. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's not some protest. But we'll have to see. So that did they have it down there in Dallas or Houston there, Jerry? Like I said, I've heard something about it, but I've not really read much on it. I've not heard all. I've heard they showed. I don't know if it was in the Philippines or in the country they took him to. I want to say it was the country they took him to. They did. I did see there was some protests where they took him into where they were holding him. There was Filipinos there showing support and solidarity with the ex-president. But I believe that was in Asia somewhere. I could be wrong. There is a vlogger. He does news vlogs on stuff that happens in the Philippines and Thailand and a couple other Asian countries. I'm trying to think of what the thing's called. I don't belong to it, but I'll catch him every once in a while. He had something on his about that. We have quite a few nurses here in this area as well, Jerry, that are Filipinos. That Filipino festival that was in Albany. Now they have another one. I have to see when they're going to have that in Schenectady, which is the adjacent county. I guess they have a fairly large contingency of Filipino nurses there as well. They have a Filipino Philab club there. And so I'll try to get to that Filipino festival this year. I have to check and see what it is. It was earlier in the year than the one in Albany last year, so I have to start checking on that. I think it was in June. I think it might have been May. So I'll have to start finding out so I can start making plans. Nice thing is I have weekends off now, so we can make those things. But yeah, we'll make that Filipino festival. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere outside of going back home and visiting with my sisters again this summer or fall. Not planning on going anywhere spectacular and spending a lot of money because now I need to start saving money. The more money I can put back, the sooner I can go. So that's my goal now. And so we'll give that a big push. So, well, folks, it's going on 9 o'clock. Like I said, I'm kind of down today, so I don't want to bum everybody out. But I do want to ask my audience here if you think I should start doing it at 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday for the Philippines. It'll be 7 o'clock here where I'm at. Since the time change, it'll be 6 where Jerry's at. I know Jerry would much prefer that. So we'll already count Jerry as a vote for making it earlier. If I'm not correct, Jerry, we'll just make it earlier. That'll make you happy. I know that, which I don't blame you. So like I said, 7 o'clock. It felt weird to wait until 8 today. It really did. It felt weird to me to have to wait till 8 o'clock to come on. But like I said, it's the same time in the Philippines every week. But I'm just wondering if how do I put a survey in? Let me see if I can figure out how to do that, Jerry. And we'll put that up. That's a good idea. If I can figure out how to do it. So that's fine. Tim, I don't plan on quitting early. I just, if I come in an hour early, there's some that can't make it because of church. You know, by the time they get home from church, it's over with. I'm willing to go 2-3 hours if people come in and talk. I'm just thinking if I start at 7 in the Philippines, the ones that go to church after 8 cannot come in before they go and maybe come back and make it again. But that's just something I'm kicking around. It's not. I usually sleep in too. All right, Jerry, we'll give that a try. We'll see if that works. We'll put in, should I start my live stream an hour earlier in the Philippines? Or an hour earlier, 7 o'clock in the Philippines, 7 a.m. in the Philippines, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Something like, I'll have to come out how I want to word it. So we'll try to get that in maybe tomorrow. But once again, everybody, I want to thank you for coming. Please forgive me for such a downer live stream, such a downbeat instead of upbeat. Like I said, you know, I'm still getting adjusted to the fact that I lost my mother, even though I've, you know, knew that day was coming for a long time. But that doesn't mean you're ready for it. All right, everybody, remember now, take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay healthy, plus have fun. And we're going to go out of this. Yeah, Jerry, I know you're up early, but I'm not talking about 6 or 7 a.m. here in the States. I'm talking about 7 a.m. in the Philippines, which would be 6 p.m. your time. All right, everybody, take care now. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun.